Hello, and you're very welcome to Season 2 of the Jameson Graduate Programme podcast. This is a 6-episode series focusing on a different part of the Jameson International Graduate Programme each week. These episodes aim to share insights onto how the programme supports you both professionally and personally from both past and present brand ambassadors. You'll get to know all about that serious character we look for in candidates. And on this episode, I'm joined by Tendai O'Connor, Marketing Activation Manager. Tendai will be talking to us all about a sustainable mindset. Hello, Tendai.
Hi, Podge. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Not too bad. How are you? How's things over in Johannesburg?
Good. It's summertime here, and we're just getting back to work after the Christmas break. It's been good, you know.
I forget it's summertime when it's wintertime over here. I forget the whole how the world works, really, you know, from time to time.
I won't stand up, but I'm wearing shorts, like, you know. So.
Well, I'm very much wearing jeans. I'm actually wearing underwarmers under the jeans because it's not even that cold. I think I'm just being dramatic. But then your role now, like, as I said, you're an alumni of the program, but you're now a marketing activation manager for Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
And what does that mean in terms, certainly for those listening who mightn't understand what Sub-Saharan Africa means?
It's actually a new role, and it's part of the business acceleration team for the brand. So I'm based in Johannesburg, but I work directly with Irish distillers, but sitting at the Pernod Ricard South Africa office because that's the headquarters for the African business, the Sub-Saharan African business. So here, kind of just to facilitate in any business acceleration activities for Jameson, mostly focused on marketing. So it's exciting. It's all very new. Not even a year into this role now. And, it's a lot of learning, but also very, very exciting.
I want to kind of take you back, I guess, prior to your current role and even to the program. What was it you studied in college? You were in UCD, weren't you?
Yeah. So UCD, and I studied food and agribusiness management. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, before I struggled to kind of pinpoint what I wanted to do. And thankfully I had some good career guidance counselors, and I didn't want to focus too much on commerce. I wanted to kind of have a science aspect to business, and then the marriage that the food and agribusiness management course does of business management, marketing, and then science as well, food production, was ideal for me. So,
at what point, I guess, or was there a particular point, can you remember, where you were introduced to the graduate program, or you were like, oh, this is the role I want?
Yeah, no, I always had I knew about it because there was a few people on the program from Wexford. So I'm from Wexford, and I never kind of thought about applying until, friends in UCD, they were thinking of applying, and came up to me. She's like, oh, sure, you're half Mozambican, you're half Irish, you're fluent in Portuguese, sure, this, you should definitely apply. And so I did. There was a group of us, we literally did the application together, like, the video, we kind of had like workshops on what's your video going to be like, and we had
ideas, right?
Good fun with it, and then we're just sharing, and then all of a sudden we actually all got onto the first assessment center, and it was good fun. We were in separate days, and then second assessment day we were on the same day, and two of us got it, and it was just good fun. But it was word of mouth, Yeah, that's how it reached me, and that's the motivation that I got then to apply.
I would say, because I'll talk about the application process kind of toward the end and for advice for people listening. But when you applied, what was your journey like on the program? Where were you based, and then how did you find it?
So when I applied, so because I'm fluent in Portuguese, there was quite a bit of thought as to which market to send me. But then kind of like there was a light bulb moment, I think, of my hiring manager, which was Stefan. It's funny because he's actually my manager now, 5 years down the line, and I'm still working with him like fairly closely. And the business was only kicking off in Mozambique. And he was kind of like, well, you're half Irish, half Mozambican. It's ideal for you to represent, the world's biggest Irish whiskey brand in Mozambique. So there was, it just made sense. And I got sent there 2016. It's home for me. Obviously, my family's still there and whatnot. So I was a bit comfortable in that sense. Mm-hmm. But the business was only starting. I mean, like, to give you an idea, the office had 9 people. And this is not just working for Jameson, working for our whole like Pernod Ricard portfolio. So like it was tiny little office, and you're kind of just, I was the first graduate to be sent there. So it was a lot of, learn as you go.
And has the office grown much since?
It's up to 15 now.
Great. Nearly doubled.
No, it's progress,
Yeah,
progress.
Yeah. And did you enjoy your time? I guess, look, you were in Mozambique for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it. And, there's this, people that get on the program most want to go to, the more kind of developed markets. I kind of argue that these developing markets, the seeding markets for Jameson, small markets, a small office, not a big workforce, is where you really can, you can really learn a lot and quickly, and you can really make the role your own, like, because if you're the first one there, like, you're literally just paving the way for Jameson in that market, and you're leaned on a lot as well. Especially you come in, the graduate program has a world-class training and induction. So I literally landed there, and they were like, it's literally the spirit of Jameson just landed in Mozambique. And I was just like, what, do you really not know, like, what's the history, the heritage, what's the process, what makes Jameson different? And they were just kind of like leveraging the knowledge that you learn as much as possible, which is good.
It is a very common thing with the program. I guess people have preconceived ideas of where they would like to go. And I guess, look, and we talked about it before with other guests, but that's why you don't have a preference in your year one, because really you don't. Well, you might, but the majority won't know exactly where the brand is, or what the I guess what the requirements for the brand to grow are, and that's why you don't have a preference in the first year, because they basically where they think you will do the best as well. And funny enough, they do get it right.
No, honestly, it's hilarious because you're exactly right. So Stefan saw my skill base and where I would be most useful and could do the best. And my experience in a developing market in Africa, it helps me so much in my current role now. And I've changed roles 4 times, and now I'm here, and I'm like, thank God I went to Mozambique in a way, and it's trust the process.
And you talked there about you'd rotated roles. What was your roles, or what was your career journey post program? So
so I mean, I was there as an ambassador first year. Second year still as an ambassador, but I started taking kind of more assistant brand manager responsibilities. By the end of my second year, stayed in Mozambique, but I was doing a hybrid role, assistant brand manager and brand ambassador. But I had the community manager reporting to me, and I had a CBL, so a Chivas brand ambassador, also reporting to me. So that was exciting. And then after that, I got a role in South Africa as brand manager for Pan-African campaigns. So working on multiple brands, Valentine's, Chivas, Absolute. It was quite a big portfolio, but working on campaigns that spanned more than 3 or 4 markets across the continent. So that was a steep learning curve. And then a year into that role, then this role came about, and I was kind of tapped on the shoulder, very passionate about Jameson over everything. So I was already based in South Africa, and there was a lot of synergies between my previous role with Pan-African campaigns and this role. So I went for it, and here we are. So what's that? That's 4 roles in 5 years after I started on the graduate program, I think. So it's been very
it's a fast career journey.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I pinch myself sometimes, Jesus, I mean, 5 years ago, I was in the induction. Or I was aghast, actually. I was aghast this time of year.
It's nice, though, as well, I guess, in terms of how it comes full circle. And now, as the marketing activation manager, you've brand ambassadors reporting into you. And it's kind of cool to see that, you are now in essence a mentor to current brand ambassadors who are based, of course, in your region.
Yeah. Actually, that's funny when we're doing the recruitment and in the interviews, and Sinead was like, "You'll do the interviews for the SSA markets." I was like, "Really? Are you sure?"
this guy? You sure?
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great experience, and actually, it works so well because the brand ambassadors in Africa that I'm working with, a lot of that experience, I think it's really appreciated, the sharing of experience, and I know exactly what they're kind of going through. So it works really, really well.
And look, I think that's one of the common things as a brand ambassador. While you're in a different market, you do have a cohort of people, be it alumni or current brand ambassadors, who are very much going through a kind of similar shared experience, just, of course, in a different, probably the other side of the world. But you have that kind of network to rely on. Then, in your time in the program as well, you are very interested in sustainability. And I guess this is kind of the main point of topic today for the podcast. But I kind of wanted to ask, how did you incorporate sustainability into your initiatives when you were out in Mozambique? And I guess why was it so important to you?
Yeah, for me, look, it's still important, and even before the program was important to me. My parents worked for NGOs in development work in Mozambique, and I grew up with that. And when I moved to Mozambique as an ambassador, it's the realization that you are in a developing country, and there's just a responsibility, I think, for the business then to be socially responsible and really invest in sustainability and responsibility initiatives. I think especially in developing markets. So how I got into it, again, because such a small team, we have once a year, the responsible day, or our day, that we take one day out of the calendar year to contribute and to do sustainability and responsibility projects. And it can differ in different markets, but there's no S&R department in Mozambique at the time. So it's a kind of a voluntary basis as to who can put some time away to then basically organize a responsible day. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. It's an aspect of my work that I want to develop. And it's great that the program kind of gives you this freedom to develop, things that aren't specifically marketing or commercial based. So I put my hand up, I volunteered. I did it 3 years in a row in Mozambique, and really started enjoying it. I got a lot out of it, and I wanted to develop that. And I was always looking for initiatives that I could actually incorporate in my role as a brand ambassador, not just Responsible Day, for example. And once you're kind of in the space, you started looking for different opportunities, and all of a sudden I met I met a person that was making reusable straws out of bamboo or reed, right? That grow quite easily in Mozambique. And it was during the time where, the banning of plastic straws was in the mainstream everywhere. And for us, it was an easy switch. It was like, oh, actually, that's grand. No skin off our nose. we have this substitute here. And we started working with, it's a small community of kind of fishermen that, they get the bamboo, they chop it up, they make these reusable straws. And we started just investing in proper sanitization, in, branding material, etc. And it just became a thing. Like, we had reusable straws, and we had a kind of partner for our straws in every kind of strategic partnership events, brand-owned events, tastings, whatever the case may be. We just use these straws. And then all of a sudden, then our partners started using them and started buying them, and then became a little business, which is great to see it grow. And no, I got a lot out of that. And I marketed a lot as well. I was kind of known as the straw guy. Still to this day, some people still call me the straw guy. But that's how it came about. And to this day, I've left Mozambique, and it's great that that's still ongoing. I visited Mozambique every now and again for work, and still using
the straw guy's back again. That's what they say. The straw guy's back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hilarious.
Was sustainability a big thing to you prior to the program? Like, when you were in college, would you be very sustainability conscious?
Yeah, I mean, even in my course, there's a big focus on that. There's a big focus on that, and it was constant. And so I was actively learning about that. And again, previously, a lot of influence from my parents that used to work in development as well, and in Mozambique. So got inspiration from various places, and I just wanted to kind of see what I could do in that space,
And it's nice to be able, I guess, and look, it's another thing about the program. It's nice to be able to bring your passion points over, and I guess put them in practice. Mine isn't as, I guess.
I was about to say, says the podcast and the video guru.
Yeah, I'm literally doing, but I guess mine isn't as important to say sustainability, but it's nice to be able to do that. It's nice to be able to kind of champion things that you have a passion for going into the role, and you are very much given, if you come with a plan or an idea, you're very much kind of nurtured as opposed to turn down. It's very much, let's see what we can do with that. And especially, it's important to be sustainably conscious and to be, I guess, ethical as a brand. So it's great to be able to kind of do that in developing market as well, not just in Ireland or anything like that.
Yeah, it's for sure. And it's interesting the doors it opens as well, because I just thought, look, it's something that I'm passionate about, small projects on the side here while I'm focused on my role and my responsibilities, my core role, and then all of a sudden I was being kind of encouraged to apply to different things and to be more involved in S&R projects in Africa. But then there still is a group within Pernod Ricard. It's called the Youth Action Council.
The YAC.
It's basically the YAC. Yeah, exactly. It's basically 9 under 30 members, and each member represents the department of the business, right? And I was asked to apply, and I was looking, apply to marketing. But then there's an S&R representative, and I didn't know how it was going to go down because my role is marketing, and my core role isn't S&R. And but anyways, it's something that I wanted to kind of expand and develop. So as a brand ambassador, developing my marketing skills, commercial skills, that's grand. But I wanted to see if I can participate in another aspect of the business that I can develop more my S&R skills, or just S&R in general. And I applied. It's a 2-part application process. You have to write an essay, there's a written application, and then there's a video application. And I was like,
sounds very similar, Tendai. Sounds like you've done this before.
Like, this is hilarious. And exactly. So I was comfortable in that. And then once you're shortlisted, then it's a voting process. And I couldn't believe my luck, because I was like, I have the best network within the group, and that's the graduate program network. So I sent one email, because your own affiliate, so no one in Mozambique could vote for me, which is grand. There's only 9 or 10 other people anyways. I wouldn't have done much there, but so I literally sent an email to all of the graduates. So can you imagine, like, all ambassadors scattered around the world were like, please vote for me, like, for this SNR, to be the SNR representative in the Youth Action Council. And wow, did it work. Like, after I got on the program, then, you know, it's disclosed, like, the amount of votes and whatnot, but it just shows the strength of, you know, the graduate network. It's huge, like.
That's massive.
And it just worked in my favor. So I got elected, and I've literally just passed it on to the 4th generation of the YAC. I was on it for 3 years, and what an experience! Like.
And what did you work on when you were there? I guess, what was your role, or what was the?
So some of the projects you're kind of given from the previous generation. So the Green Office Challenge, and now it's developed into the Good Challenge. But that was Youth Action Council started that project. So for me, I was running that project across the group, across the world, and to see what SNR initiatives can the youth or any office implement that can contribute to our SNR targets. And so I did that for 2 years. But then again, you're kind of being involved with in my case, the SNR department at headquarters in Paris. So we just, 2 years ago, we just launched our new 2030 roadmap, our new SNR strategy called Good Times from a Good Place. And I was actively being involved in the thinking, in the strategies prior to the launch. I was involved during the launch. And then different initiatives like Responsible Party, which is raising awareness of the misuse of alcohol to students in Europe, partnership with the Erasmus program. So being involved in these things, and then going to conferences like the One Young World was just amazing. Like, it's just, you're not exposed to these kind of things in your normal 9 to 5. And a lot of ad hoc projects as well, because there's 8 other members, each in different departments. And even though it's a marketing or a HR project, they still want to hear about the SNR aspect to these projects. So it was a lot. It was intense, but it was an amazing experience. Like,
and it's mad how the opportunity came about from, I guess, at the time, what you thought was a simple initiative in Mozambique. Certainly your kind of first, sustainable project or SNR project within your role as a brand ambassador, and how that is now steamrolled into when you were in the YAC and the work that you've done, and really, doing the bamboo straws for the Mozambique, but then, the Good Time from a Good Place, which is an initiative for the whole Pernod Ricard business, which is incredible. So, like, from working with 9 people and it's SNR project to now 15,000 we have in the company, so big difference. But it's
so
it's mad that's
a roller coaster ride.
So it's great that that's been able to, as you said there, it's opened such doors, which I'm sure when you were doing your the bamboo straws, was the bamboo straws the first kind of sustainable project that you would have?
No, before I did Responsible Day, so I was the project leader for Responsible Day. And then after that, this initiative with the bamboo straws then happened after that. So
I'm sure when you were doing the Responsible Day and you put your hand up, I'm sure you didn't expect it to get to where you've gone.
Oh, far from it. Far from it. even like during the application, because all of the other applicants for SNR were like, you know, SNR experts. You know, they study that full on, and that's their main passion, and you know, working in HQ for the SNR team. So I'd say when I got it, they were a bit surprised, but there was no. There was no guardrail saying that you can't apply for different to represent. Like it's. I actually encourage it. I think it's a great opportunity to, you know, develop out of your core role. You know.
Yeah, of course. And I guess one thing to mention as well, Tendai, certainly when you were on the program, 2019, I believe it was, we were winning Grad Ireland Employee of the Year. That's a huge achievement as well. Another
massive surprise. Yeah.
What was that like when you won?
Surreal. That was surreal. Even getting shortlisted. I remember doing the application. Again, another video, but a massive written application, and I was just looking at the other graduate programs, and I was like, geez, KPMG. Wow, these, you know, heavy hitters here, and. I enjoyed doing the application, and when I was shortlisted and looking across at all the other finalists, I was like, wow, this, you know, I shouldn't be here, basically. But obviously really, really happy, really proud. There's been finalists before, representative of the Jameson graduate program. And there's, for the awards ceremony, there's a ceremony at the Mansion House, and I was still in Mozambique, so got the invite over, and absolutely chuffed. And during my travels over, I missed my flight.
I remember,
my connection.
Remember Michelle telling me that.
I missed my flight, and I couldn't believe it, because it was the next day. And I missed my connection from Joburg to, I think it was Qatar, and then Qatar over to Dublin. And I was mortified. And the flights were full. I didn't think I was going to get over. And then just my luck, I think 2 seats on the next flight were open. And I got on the overnight flight then, and I got in the morning. So I was embarrassed, like I was going into the office and people didn't think I was going to make it and whatnot. And I was there. So then when I was, geez, I better win now so that people will forget that I missed my flight over.
Was the sustainability initiatives, were they a large part of your submission?
Not a large part, but it was an aspect of my submission. And I think that's what made my submission quite unique. Because I think the expectation, okay, marketeer, Jameson graduate program, but then, you know, having as part of your role, having an interest in sustainability and responsibility and successfully implementing initiative to your core role, I think that was a big aspect of it for sure. And then, all of a sudden they said my name. And they didn't actually just say my name, which was something I don't think they've ever done before. They actually played my application video. Again, lads, the experience of doing a video is unbelievable. And they played my video like in the Mansion House, and went up to a little speech, and then just celebrated. And it was phenomenal. And that has done wonders, not just for my CV. I'm sure, like in my interviews going forward, you know, it's been such a big talking point, and it's something that's always going to be valuable to me.
Where's the award, Tendai? Is it at home? Is it?
Yeah, it's at home. Yeah, it has a big altar, in my living room, and I kiss it every time I walk by it.
But it like, just on that point, and look, it's not just within, I guess, and not just within the graduate program, or within, I guess, the working world, but it's the same in college too. I mean, these things that you do outside of your 9 to 5, outside of your core study, outside of what's on paper for you to do. These are the things that really kind of help you grow, both personally and certainly professionally there too. And as you mentioned, with the Grand Island Employer of the Year, or even working Responsible Day, or doing the bamboo straws, or the yak, things that you've done outside of your 9 to 5, these are really what's the kind of talking point with any interview, with any company that you go to, because these are the things that really set you apart from other people. Same within college when you do society work and stuff. Those are the things that really kind of set you apart from everyone else who's in your course.
Yeah, but I wasn't too bad of an ambassador as well. Let's not forget, I was still meeting my KPIs. I was still, I heard still performing.
I heard you just never came in. That's why you're like, the straw guy's missing again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm scared that it'll sound like that, but again, like to your point, it's extra work, but you still have to focus and you still have to perform. You still, you still have a responsibility for the business and for the brand, But agree with you completely.
Then one more question before, I guess, we roll on to the last, which is the kind of quick fire round. But I guess what practical tip would you give to people who want to be more sustainable in the kind of their day-to-day life, or in their working environment?
So I think one of the things for me that I learned when I started working in these initiatives, that previously a lot, like, people used to kind of separate S&R from the business completely. And then, but thinking about it holistically and how it integrates into every single department is quite useful. If you think of S&R as an integral part of business, I think it's easier then to kind of see, opportunities, or you can see things that you can change, because I think for the most part, people are kind of just stuck, in their own ways. They're focused. If it's sales, only focused on sales, and then you have the S&R department who has to then think of systems then to incorporate across the group or across the business. But if all individuals would think of S&R as an integral or an overarching aspect of the business, it changes your perspective a little bit. And that's something that I learned, actually. And, with the straws, like we needed straws to serve our cocktails. You know what I mean? It was like, but if you weren't thinking of actually substitutes or sustainable solutions, you could have got very stressed or be like, actually no straws. But it's an important part of our work as ambassadors. So that'd be my advice, a long-worded advice.
No, I think it's great advice. I want to finish off this podcast with quick fire round. So some quick fire questions for you. Some of them you know, one or two of them you don't know, and that's really it. So I guess you ready?
Yeah, ready. Yeah.
First question: one word people would use to describe you.
Tall.
I would have went with straws, to be honest.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, well said.
One place you want to travel to next?
Nigeria.
Have you been before?
No.
So 3 words you would use to describe the Jameson International Graduate Program.
Unique. Mm-hmm. It's exciting, and I want to say it's a great opportunity, but opportunity.
Great. 3 words there. Favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of my job would be building a fantastic brand in Africa, you know, like very passionate about that, very proud of that. No, that's it's easy. That's it. That's it.
Nothing compares.
Yeah.
Okay. Two questions for you here tonight. Do you have a favorite moment in your time? Both, I guess I'll split this up two. Favorite moment of your time on the program, and then favorite moment of your time in Pernod Ricard.
What comes to mind is the big highlight, you know, winning the Grand Ireland Employee of the Year. Massive for me. And being the first one to do it for Jameson, you know, that's hard to beat. I mean,
it's a good highlight. It's not small by any account.
Yeah. But when the brand ambassadors come together, like at the Global Ambassador Summits, it's pretty special, you know. And so those, you know, thankfully, I was able to go to 3 of them, and you know, just fun memories. You know, it's just great. It's just a different energy. So that'll be secondly. What was the second question at Pernod Ricard?
Well, yeah, but like they're two good answers. But if you had a different one, I guess in your role in the last like 5 years. But if those two are highlights.
No, those two. I'll stick with those two. Yeah.
Perfect. And I guess my last question tonight for you today is: someone's on the fence of applying, they're not too sure, they might be afraid of doing the video, whatever it might be. Would you have any advice for them, or what would you say to them?
Oh, just I'd say go for it. If you're having doubt, go for it. The experience of going through the application process is valuable in itself. I think it really, if it's the first job you're kind of applying to, going through the assessment days or assessment centers, kind of seeing what it takes. I know a few people that have applied 2 or 3 times, and it's the experience that have kind of got them over the line at the third attempt. So the experience in itself is great, and I gave you multiple examples of how useful knowing how to put together a video is. So just do it for that, and enjoy the experience, you know.
Perfect. Ken, I want to thank you very much for your time today, all the way over from sunny Joburg, and it was great speaking to you, even though it was through Zoom, like many things that we do in the last year or two have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on.
Sorry, no, just great chat. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Well, and for those who are listening, of course, please do check out our social channels at Jameson Grad Pro for hints and tips, and of course to keep up to date with the Jameson Graduate Program. Make sure to subscribe if you do like this podcast, or wherever you do find your podcasts. And for myself here, Collaborative Studios and Tendai, thank you very much, and talk to you soon.
Cheers. Thanks a million. Bye.
Thanks so much to Tendai. And on the next episode, we're going to have Simon Fame, who's going to be talking to us about his career journey and learning from leaders. See you next time.